What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to Trading Learning 101. Today it is Monday, December 16th. We are approaching 11 a.m. Hopefully you all had a great weekend. Hopefully you guys are all having a great start of the week with it being Money Monday. We got MIRM today running from 11.50 all the way up to a high of $22. Was able to trade MIRM today a total of 3 times for a profit of over $500. I'm going to show you guys how I traded it, what made me trade it. Let's get into it. To kick things off, stock market is hitting all-time new highs. The SPY getting a nice gap up from 317, gaps up all the way to 319, and right now it's hovering just below 320. So market's still making all-time new highs. This is awesome. I got that long-term investment portfolio Acorns. I believe I'm up on it now $30, and I'm approaching $1,000 invested on that. If you guys have not checked that out yet, I have 2 videos so far I've released on that. Go ahead and check them out if you're interested. Let's jump into this recap. So this morning pre-market, there really wasn't much going on. We didn't have too much gapping up that was catching my attention. We did have PCG with a big gap down, gapping down from $11 all the way down to a low of $8 pre-market, and then just grinding its way all the way back up to almost $10 so far today. So PCG would have been a good one as well to trade as well. Let me know in the comments if you guys have been watching PCG. Very nice little grind back up. Whenever you have a stock with a big gap down like that, you got to keep an eye on it, because what it immediately does is it creates an error in the chart. You have a gap in the chart. So what it will most of the time do, not all the time, but a lot of times it will try to fill the gap to correct that error. So whenever you have a gap in a chart, even on the daily chart, see P&G or PCG, we'll bring over the daily here to show you real quick. With this daily, you just see all these gaps in this chart all right here. You got one right here where it gapped down, and look what it does. It comes right back up and it tries to fill that gap, but couldn't. Got another big gap down here. Tries to come up and fill it, but it doesn't. And then all these big gaps right here going down, and then it comes right back up to fill it, starts grinding its way all the way up, and then now recently we got this big gap down and it's trying to make its way up. So a very gappy chart with PCG. And then one more stock I want to go over is LMPX. LMPX is the recently new IPO that's just been running, and you got to keep your eye on this stock. We're going from $5 all the way up to a high of $44. That's a nice little run on this stock. Friday I was able to trade this stock and made over $400 on this stock. And then today it just had a nasty, wicked sell-off. Let's bring in this over here. Right here. Look at this bad boy. Right here opens up at $30. Gets a nice little push up to $35. And then from $35, it just dropped all the way down to $22. That's a big sink on this stock. A $12 drop. And even if you were to try to trade this, you gotta be careful. LMP, you got to notice a lot of things, and with me, volume is very huge. all last week, LMPX at the beginning of the day would have really, really light volume, just slowly approaching 500,000 in volume in the morning with a dollar spread. And then as the day went on, it got more and more hot and the volume started to pick up and the more volatile it got. With that being said, taking notice of the volume, again, today, LMPX, the volume was very, very light on it. You gotta be careful and why you do not want to jump in big size on a stock with big spread and it's skipping dollars at a time, because you could literally blow up your account, and we do not want that. If you were to trade that and gotten in here at $32 with 1,000 shares, let's say, this dropped immediately down to $28. That's a $4 drop in a blink of an eye. 1,000 shares, that's $4,000 you could have lost. And then it runs into a halt here at $24.50. So you gotta be extremely careful with stocks that are volatile like this. Now let's go on to MIRM. I made over $500 today trading this stock. Let's get into it. I've heard people mention on Twitter that MIRM's float is 4 million. I've looked on FinViz and I'm on Street Smart Edge and I see that the float is 20 million. So I don't know where these people are getting the float is 4 million. But MIRM gaps up this morning pre-market from $8 to a high pre-market of $13. Stock opens up at $11.50, gets a nice run all the way up to a high of almost $15. Now, this is the area where I traded it my first time. Let me open this up. I traded it my first time right in this area. I missed this morning run up right here. So, what am I noticing? The first thing, I want to know if there is, what's the word I'm looking for? Is there a supply and demand and volume taking effect here? Is there volume pushing into this stock? This morning, this stock was approaching 1 million shares in volume. So I'm constantly glancing over, checking the volume every minute, every 2 minutes, every 5 minutes. Just glancing at the volume, seeing if the volume is increasing and increasing. If the volume is increasing and increasing every time I check it, more and more and more and more, that's telling me that there's a demand for this stock and there is a fluctuation between the supply and the demand. So whenever you get a supply and demand effect and a demand for the stock, what's going to happen? The price is going to go up because the value of it is increasing. With that being said, gets a nice little pullback here. Like I said, I'm watching the volume. I'm watching the tape. Is there a lot of green prints going through? Are there aggressive buyers coming into this stock? That's what I was noticing. So I jumped in on it, got in on a nice little push right here from $14.50 all the way up to $16 when it ran into a halt. Then from 16, it opens back up from the halt and it does more consolidation right here. Consolidates, demand is still pushing into the stock, pumping and pumping and pumping. And you also have to notice what else is going on in the markets. Are there any stocks that are popping up on scanners? Are there any stocks that may take attention away from this stock? All this stuff is key stuff you got to notice when you're a day trader. You got to think of yourself like a scientist. You got to observe everything, have hypothesis about everything, test, test, refine, test. That's all it is. You got to notice little details that a lot of people could overlook, because that one detail that you've noticed could make you a big payday. More consolidation, demand's pushing into it. It goes even higher, up to 1850, and runs into another halt. Opens back up, runs up, tests $20 a little bit, and then just blows through 20, running all the way up to $22. Gets a nice pullback all the way down to this 1850 area here. Now, this is where I traded it for the second time, and I will show you guys my P&L. Let me bring it over just to show you guys how I traded this. Here's my P&L right here. I traded it a total of 3 times. My first trade, I made $228 on it. I got in at $16.40, sold at $17.50. The second time I traded it, I got in at $19.50, and I sold it for a $170 loss because I got scared out of the position. I got in over myself. I jumped in. I paid the price for it. And then as soon as it came right back up over 19, I jumped in again. And then I sold it just below $21 for a $465 profit, resulting in a $523 payday. This platform that I'm using is DAS Trader. If you're a day trader, DAS Trader is the best platform for day trading. I swear by it. The speed on it is unbelievable, and the ordering, the level 2, the times and sales on it, it's the best in the game. But DAS Trader is not free. I pay $125 for it a month, but when you're a day trader, you get what you pay for. You gotta have the correct and right tools to have an edge in this game. So that $125 pays for itself immediately with one trade, and I'm still walking away with profit. But let's bring back up this chart and I'll show you where I took my loss. I traded it my first time right here, and then I sold it around right there. So I missed all this big run up right here. I'm not going to get FOMO. I'm not going to chase after the stock. I made my profit. I'm going to let the stock continue running, do what it's got to do, and then pull back. And that's when I look for another entry if I want. So the stock tops out right up here. And then it pulls back to this 1850 level. Pops up to 1950. Nice little range from right here, going from 1850 to 1950. Nice little dollar range on this stock. I got in, I think it was like at the top of this level. And then when it dropped down right here, I just seen so much selling on the tape. I got scared out of the position. I didn't want it to have like a death candle on me. I was trying to protect my profits, and I need to work on that. I got to work on that patience. I made it almost all the way through this big consolidation, but fear of missing out got the best of me, and I paid for it. And then when it came right back up, I seen strength into it. I seen it was eating through the ask. I seen volume was increasing right here. And boom, jumped in and had a nice little pop up to 2150. And that's where I made my big chunk of my money. And then after that, it just slowly just trended all the way back down to 17. And now it's looking to test this $19 level again. But you gotta be here every single day if you want to be a day trader. You gotta notice and see the market conditions, the market cycles. Actually see what these stocks are doing every single day. And from that, that's when you right there will develop your own trading strategy. So I've been doing this for over 4 years. So I've seen a lot of market conditions, a lot of market cycles, and I still haven't even seen a bear market yet. All I've seen are bullish markets. I've seen a couple market corrections and sell-offs and panic, but as a day trader, you're always learning. Every single day, you're learning something new. You never want to get cocky. You always want to try to stay humble. Stick to your plan. Always consider your risk. And take it one day at a time. But leave in the comments down below, what did you guys trade today? Jonathan Conway. Awesome gains today, man. Thanks. Got to work on that patience a little bit, but for the most part, I think I did pretty well. Volume is so huge for day trading, and there's a book that I want to recommend that's great on volume. Let me look it up. This is probably as well going to be the last good week, because next week we got the holidays and then New Year's. So enjoy it this week. So the first book on volume that I want to recommend is A Complete Guide to Volume Price Analysis by Anna Culling. This is an amazing book, and it's a must-have for traders. This book on volume is so great. This is a page turner for real. It's not that long of a book. It's like 130 pages, I think. But every single page is jammed packed with information. And you can see here with the customer reviews, 69% give it 5 stars. And I've also have done a review on this trading book. And then there's one more volume book that I want to show you guys. Let me see if I can find it. I hope I can. Let me see. I can't find it. I have it on my phone though. I have a physical copy of it, and there it is. The Trader's Book of Volume. So that's what it is. This book right here. This is another amazing book as well on volume. Shows you how to analyze volume, what indicators work with volume, studying volume with chart examples. I loved this book. So I actually own a physical copy of it that I read, and I also own a digital copy of it as well. So I bought this book 2 times. And also, as a day trader, and if you want to be a day trader, you gotta invest in your knowledge. You have to. But MIRN, it could come back on the day. It very well could. Right now it's trending down, and you could see too when I zoomed out on this chart, there's a double top on it. So right up here at $22, a double top. And you also got to notice, look at the long wicks as well. When you see these long wicks, right up here, right there, and a little one right there, that means you're running into an iceberg. There's a big seller right there at $22. A double top is a bearish pattern. You got your U shape right here. It failed, and then it fell down. And now look for this 1850 level, which was support all right here. Here, let me do this. This 1850 level, it was support all right here. And now that the stock fell below it, see how it came all the way down, and it looked like it was trying to bounce at 1850, and then we got this big red candle. I call those death candles or surge candles, but you got that one sinking right below that 1850, because that's where everybody puts their stop loss. They put it right there, just below 1850, and that's why you see these big red candles right at support lines, and also why you have those big green candles right above resistance lines. Shorts are just getting destroyed. So now that it sunk through that 1850, look for that to hold as resistance. You could see it already tested it one time right here and failed, and now it's making lower lows. So if it can get back above 1850 and the VWAP and hold as support, this thing could test high days. That's also why I use the VWAP as well. Look it, it's right there. This orange line right at 1850. But that's going to about wrap it up for today, guys. Hopefully you guys are all kicking the week off on the right foot. Don't worry, we have the rest of the week. If you missed this stock, don't worry. Don't get FOMO. That's how you get emotional. And with trading and in investing, you want to try to take the emotions out of it. Let's go back to PCG one time. Yeah, PCG has just been really, really great today. Really great. After that big gap down, just all morning from $8.70, it's hitting $10 right now. Just making higher lows all day. And you could see this one too. Right here, it did another double top. Right there just below $10. And what it do? It came down, made a U shape right here. Then it failed, fell down, broke below that support right there. Right there. And then came right back up and reclaimed it. And then failed. And then reclaimed it again. And then off she goes. You just gotta look at charts and just break them down every day. You break down a chart every single day and do it every single day for a year. What is there, 365 days in a year? That's 365 days every single day looking at a chart, breaking it down. You're going to get better and better and better and better. But that's going to wrap it up for this one, guys. Great day today. Hopefully you guys are all having a great day. And until next time, have that patience, have that discipline, and study, study, study. Later, everybody.